Hey guys, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm going to share my December 2016 Traveler's Notebook with you here today. But I wanted to show you first the container that I'm using to house all of them. I'll hold it kind of to the side so that you can see. It's just a mesh office supply holder. I think I got it at Target a few years ago. And I'm not sure that I'm going to leave them in here. I'm trying to angle this so you can see. I'm not sure that I'm going to leave them in here, but this is kind of the working solution as of right now. My problem is they don't stand up exactly right by themselves. You know, they don't fill up the entire container. So I'm not sure if I could put something in the front or if maybe, gosh, I don't know, I could put something behind them, or if maybe I want to do something different. Originally, I had thought it might be kind of nice to take them and bundle them like with a ribbon. Isn't that cool? Isn't that fun to see that there are all 12 of them right there? Thought it might be fun to do that with a ribbon or some sort of a super big, tough rubber band and that kind of thing. But I'm not sure that they would all like stay together like that. They're a little bit top heavy. You know, they're a little bit heavier in this corner than they are anywhere else. So for now, they're living in that little mesh container, but I don't know if that's the long-term solution or not. So if any of you guys have suggestions for me about how to store and display those on my shelves, that would be awesome. So let me get to the one that I want to share with you today. The very last one, December 2016. Yes, I'm running a little bit behind, but I feel so awesome that I was able to finish this project, because it's one of those, like, when you commit to something like this at the beginning of the year, you feel kind of a responsibility to make sure you finish it, not just because I want to have the whole year reflected in my memory keeping, but also because I had kind of made a commitment to you. Those of you who watch the videos, what a bummer would it be to like get through August, for example, and never see any more. So, you know, yay, go me for finishing up. When you look at the outside of the album, I generally do the same thing each month, and some people would say that that's boring, but other people would say that that provides a sense of continuity and kind of unifies all of the different months together, so that's the one I'm going for. I started with the December sticker that came in my Cocoa Daisy kit. I added some of my own washi tape, as well as the one that they sent me for this month, and then a printed die cut. You can also see that I have a little tassel hanging out the top there, which I think is super cute, and I like to have that each month when, you know, it's workable and it matches and it fits and all that. So opening up the book, you can see that I rarely do anything to this first page. I just add a few stickers on days that are important. So you can see this was the last day of school. We have Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and then New Year's Eve marked. I also added a couple of stickers from this month's kit when I planned to wrap gifts and when the winter solstice was. So pretty simple, pretty easy. And I think the page itself is beautiful enough that you don't have to do anything to it. And that's one of those things that I've tried to give myself permission with over the course of this project. When the paper is beautiful enough, or the photos that I'm including are interesting enough, there's no need to go totally overboard. So I've been trying to embrace a little bit more simplicity in some of my documenting, because, you know, sometimes I think I have a tendency to maybe do a little too much. So the big problem with doing a traveler's notebook for me in December is that I'm also working, or I was also working, on a December daily. But that actually ended up being a good thing for me, because I have tried to document stories in this month's traveler's notebook that I did not document and do not plan to document in my December daily for the same time period. I'm not finished with my December daily yet. I'm still working on it, and I'm totally fine with that. My goal is to actually finish it by the end of January and then to share it with you. So stay tuned to that. This whole page is a series of musings about taking better care of myself physically. I'm like a lot of women, and I make time for pretty much everything and everybody else except for taking good care of my health. And so around the middle of the month, I decided to make some significant changes. You know, I saw my doctor. I put a plan in place about taking better care of my sleep and my diet, and my exercise plan, and just doing the things that I need to do to make sure that I live a long time. My mother died not much older than I am now, and so maybe it's my mortality that's hitting me. I don't know. But I want to do some things proactively so that I continue to be in good health and hopefully live a long time. I mean, most people like wait till January to do this kind of thing. I guess I'm some sort of an overachiever or something because I did it a few weeks early, but whatever. And then there is a selfie that I took at some point in the month. I included some washi tape and a sticker or two, but that's really it. It's essentially just my words about my plans and then a picture of myself that I took. And I do like to start each month with a selfie because, you know, this is a traveler's notebook that is reflective of my life and where I am in it right now, since I live alone, since my child is grown. What else would I put on the first page? What else would the first page of my traveler's notebook be about? I don't know. Okay. I also decided to include a picture of my Christmas tree. I had, if you listen to the podcast, you know this story already, but I had originally thought that I would buy a new Christmas tree this year because I thought Kelsey and Jake wanted mine. They have just a little tabletop tree, but they decided they didn't want it, that their house isn't big enough and that their dogs are too big to have a full-size tree. So I kept it, and I got one more year of use out of the old girl. I don't know if she'll make it another year because the light situation is rather unpredictable, but I'm glad I have this picture of it. I have paper clipped together my calendar pages like always. You guys have mentioned that you like it when I show you those, so I'm just going to flip through. My daily life is not that exciting, I promise. I mainly go to work and do things with the fella or my friends or Kelsey, but you know, some of you all wanted to see, so there you go. I did have a lot of fun over my 2.5 week break from work, and I was way busier than I planned on being, but that's okay because those were some great memories and some great times spent with friends. Speaking of friends, this next layout is about a lunch date that I had with a couple of friends, one old and one new, and I thought it might be fun to have a photo of the venue with the menu and my cocktail there in the background. And then I made a list. You know, I'm a fan of lists. I made a list of fun ways to spend a weekend, all the things that I like to do on the weekend. And that could turn into like a full-size layout, or it could even become a mini book project I can kind of envision. But I'm glad I have it recorded here in case I want to do more with it. I don't have to, but I could. On this page, I have some more washi and then a sticker and then some little circle stickers to indicate each item on my list. Isn't the printing of the paper in this book just gorgeous? I find that I don't add a lot of embellishment when the paper is as pretty as this, so that makes my life way easy. This layout spread is about a happy surprise that I experienced in December. Kelly Perky was so sweet to send a gift to Tracy and to me. I got mine in the mail, and it's this fabulous little tote bag and all of these Kelly Perky inks. She also wrote me a card personally, and I was like, I Instagrammed this, and I was like, oh my God, y'all, somebody famous sent me a present. I was crazy excited and flattered, and I think some of my friends thought I was a nut, but I mean, I was just like, I can't believe she even knows that I'm alive, so that made me really happy. And I decided, as I told this story over on this page, to put little hearts pretty much at the end of every sentence or two because I wanted to indicate, you know, how much I loved it, how much it made me feel good. And I cannot wait to use some of her stamps. I haven't used them yet. Sorry, Kelly. I can't wait to use some of her stamps to play with. She's placed lots of faith in me because y'all know I'm not much of a stamper, but I want to get better. And so having new product and having somebody do something so kind for me is a great way to motivate me to actually like follow through with it. Here we have a photo of Charlie Dog. If you watched the the video about October of 2016. You know, Charlie had some pretty significant injuries, but you'll be glad to learn that he's all healed up and his normal sassy self. He got his hair done at the beginning of December so that he would be all holiday ready. I meant to take him to see Santa Claus, but it did not work out with my schedule. I'm a bad pet mom. But maybe next year. He's doing really well. He's 14, we think. You know, I took Charlie Dog in, and so he wasn't my dog originally. He's just a stray, sort of, that I adopted from one of my ex-husband's deadbeat friends. But anyway, that's a long story. He's doing really well. He's about 14. He's getting around great. I think he's losing his hearing, which is maybe why he barks randomly when nothing is happening. But other than that, I think he's in good shape and he's all recovered from his injuries. Over here, I have a listing of the meal plan that I was going by for the holidays. You know, what was I taking to the Davenports? What was I going to cook for Michael and Luke? What was the plan for New Year's Day, etc. Here, I have a couple of photos that didn't make the cut for my December daily album. Now, I scrapbooked about these days because this page is about Ugly Christmas Sweater Day, and then this one is about the Christmas hat. I'm trying to adjust that so that you don't see the glare so much. So the stories are in my December daily, but not these photos. So I thought it was fun to just include them since they were holiday-ish. Here I have my mid-month plan. I mean, who joins the gym in mid-December? Nobody except me, of course. So I joined our local Planet Fitness. It is like 3 minutes from my high school where I teach, and it's like 7 minutes from my house. So, you know, not just no critics, no excuses, right? In fact, after I make this video, I'm headed over there. Anyway, and I also made a list of, you know, some of the things that I plan to do to really live up to the kind of December that I want. Some of them are healthy, some of them have to do with my budget, and some of them have to do with, you know, making plans with friends. And I think that's important. I don't think, you know, you can really focus on just one thing in your life and expect to be happy. I think you have to kind of find a balance among all of the things that you say are important to you, and that's what I'm really working toward here. On this page, I'm making a list, and these are my Christmas list, of when I'm getting together with people and giving them their gifts, and then also what I'm getting. And you can see, you know, I've marked things out. Sometimes I wrote things down before I'd actually purchased them. Sometimes I spent more money and I had to like not buy anymore. Sometimes they told me they wanted something else. So I spend 3 pages working on that. And then over here on the right, I have a picture of Kelsey and Jake. They actually spent Christmas in Oregon. They were there for 2.5 weeks or so. And this is a picture that she sent me from when she was on the beach. I have to tell you, I have trained that girl right. She sends me photos all the time via text. And this is one that she sent me via a text message, and I printed it out. So, you know, if you have older children, if you have teenagers or kids in college, and you still want to be able to scrapbook what they're doing, you know, from your perspective, ask them to start sending you photos via text message, because most of them are taking pics with their friends anyway. They're just not going to do anything else with it. And that would give you a treasure trove of photos that you can, you know, have for preserving their memories if they're not interested in doing so just yet. This page is about going to one of our Bowling Green High basketball games. I don't have any journaling that goes with it because I felt like those were self-explanatory. I probably won't scrapbook about this particular game. It was just a game, but it was reflective of something I did in December with the fella. And then over here, I had to do an observation of a colleague as part of my professional responsibilities. And this was the paper I had with me, so this is where I took the notes. I have plans here for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And then on the right, I included a picture of Kelsey and Jake from Oregon so that I could feel like they were kind of part of my celebration, even though I didn't get to be with them. I included some washi tape. I have a printed die-cut tag. I have a couple of stickers here. Just a few things to bring some color to that part of the page, because this plant painting up here is just so gorgeous. I wanted to kind of balance it out like that. Here's a picture of my new silk kimono robe that Vonda gave me for Christmas. I love it so much. And again, I'm not sure I'll do an actual scrapbook page about that. So for me, it was the perfect place to put it. You know, my traveler's notebook meant that I could share the photo and remember the memory, but not feel like I had to have an entire layout devoted to it, and a little bit of journaling that just gives some context. I also made an after Christmas shopping list, as you can see. And then I made a spread about end of the year to-dos. You guys will crack up, I always pay my city property taxes on the very last business day of the year because I want to get like the discount, but I don't want to have to pay it before I have to. So this year that was December 30th. So I drove down to the City Hall Annex and I shot this fabulous photo. Look how blue the sky is. Doesn't that look like something that's like fake? But it's not. I didn't like put a filter on it or anything. This was actually the color that it came out of my camera. I thought that was crazy. So I made a whole list of my end of the year to-dos, things that I need to take care of, like before I go back to work the following week. And I used those little circle stickers in order to delineate those. I also included some washi tape because, you know, that's my thing right now. And then I included the tassel up here because, let's face it, paying property taxes is not an exciting way to end your year, but it is something that has to be done, and I feel accomplished once I take care of it. I didn't put anything on that last page or the inside cover. So there you go. That is December 2016 Traveler's Notebook. I will file it in my little container that stores all of my Traveler's Notebooks for 2016. And I guess I could put like a ribbon and a label on the front here if I wanted, unless I come up with some other plan. But for now, we're calling this project a wrap. I'd love it if you'd leave me a comment or ask a question. I'll be happy to answer it. And I hope that you'll come back for more videos for the rest of this year, 2017. Until I chat with y'all again, go and be crafty.